Hello and welcome to the 13th episode of the Gochuucast, and today we have filled the guest seat once again. Didn't think he'd be this soon, but we did. So he's like 10,000 times our size, but PokeMMD, Joey, if you would like to introduce yourself and what you do.
Hey, what's up, guys? Yeah, Pokegame here. I play Pokemon. That's basically it, right? I just love Pokemon. I play it. I upload competitive Pokemon and fun stuff with my friends, and basically whatever I want. And my three subscribers here asked me to be on this
Let's
podcast. I
go.
was like, "Yo, okay, I'll do it. I do not mind." So I'm very happy to be here. Thank you for having me, bro.
It's even funny because I would say all three of us met through at least like one big arc of being in your Discord servers and everything.
Yes.
Yeah, I
We
would.
will
Like, I think
recommend
I
you.
started talking to Spatula outside, like in other Discords, but all of us started the whole like web of our friends by being in the Joey's Discord. So it's kind
true.
of like
The
podcast with father, so to
yeah,
speak.
it would not exist without you.
Hey, Pokemon brings people together. That's just what I
It
do.
does.
Excited to.
Absolutely.
I'm happy that you guys are all good people too. Do a lot for me. Daniel always answers my questions and loses to me in Among Us. And
I
we got
only
PK
lose.
helping.
I only lose because of other people. I always knew what was going on.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Unfortunately, that's
Fortunately, it's still
not the
losing.
answer we were looking for.
No
We were
one
looking for
ever,
s-
no one ever listened to Daniel. I didn't have a presence as much as I did.
It's crazy because you have such a deep voice, but
Yeah, it'd be like that sometimes. But yeah, Pokemon. So I guess we could all like. How did everyone here get into Pokemon? Just like through the anime, or
So what's funny is I got into Pokemon through a bunch of really weird roundabouts that eventually got me to Shofu. And obviously Shofu
Okay.
to Joey was like a pretty easy transition after that. But I think before that I was watching like random YouTube channels and I ended up watching some guy, what was the name? Bruce Willikers. It was the most random YouTube channel, but he did these fire Nuzlocke challenges on his channel. And the dude was just hilarious. And I watched that, and I just kind of was like, "Oh, I want more Pokemon content." And then I stumbled on the competitive stuff that Shofu was doing at the time, and then just really got into that.
What year was this?
I mean, this might have been like mid 2010s, maybe even earlier.
Okay,
This is
gotcha.
like old because I didn't even get like Discord until I had been watching Joey's stuff for 3-4 years, something like that.
Right, okay, that makes sense.
I grew up watching the Pokemon anime. I watched the first episode obviously when it aired, but before that I watched the SSN episode because for whatever reason they aired that I think separately. As like the kind of intro to Pokemon type thing, and then they aired the first one. I could be wrong because it was like freaking 1990. Was it 8, 7, 8? I think it was 8.
I think it was 8.
Yeah, it was 1998, so I was 5. And I also got my first game, Red, same time, basically when it came out. Which my mom had my Game Boy Pocket, and I would play through that. And basically, I wake up all the time, watch it on Saturday morning. It was on Kids WB, which was a good place
Yes.
to watch Pokemon. It would be at 10 a.m., so I remember it very much. And eventually, I played a little bit on things like Net Battle and Shoddy Battle and those simulators, and eventually found my way to Smogon as well, just as just with their sets and things like that, and found a bunch of YouTubers: Xenon3120, MBZ or Emperor ZMB, MCG Xerxes, the Shadow Project. These were like all people back then that were uploading, and I was like, oh, this is really, really cool. And then as I learned, I actually got into a clan on accident because I was looking for a Wi-Fi battle on Cerebi because we could finally do that with Diamond and Pearl, which was the best thing that Pokemon ever did for us. Too bad they took all that stuff away, but in terms of like timer and stuff. But I eventually went there, and then I was like, yo, I can actually start uploading to YouTube if I want to, because I was like, oh, maybe I could beat these people, because I thought I could, and I want to show off my battles. So I had an ace card, and I was able to start uploading back then in 2010. So like skip a couple of years, obviously I was watching for longer than I was uploading, but I was around on like forums and threads and stuff.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
That's
So
cool.
you've been like a part of like all these communities longer than I even knew most of them existed.
Yeah, I think 2006, 2007 would be the original because Diamond and Pearl. Japan actually, we had that. We also had Pokemon Battle Revolution. People were uploading on that too.
Yeah.
Right around then,
Pretty
that's what I
fire
started
game.
watching. Yeah, that's what I started watching. Overhazard, I believe, was one of the people. Zero Yarko was one of the other people. I actually still sub to Overhazard, and they sometimes randomly upload other videos. Yeah, they just did 4 hours ago. Mad Rat Dead 6-5 inside S plus rank. Cool. No idea what that is.
Oh, I
But
don't even know what those words are.
but if you look at their most popular, you have things like 13 plus years ago, Pokemon Battle Revolution September, 654,000 views 14 years ago, type of thing. So they have,
It's crazy
yeah.
that long ago.
Yeah.
yeah. So it's just like I've been watching for a long, long time, and obviously been uploading since going on 12 years now.
That's crazy.
See, I was always a Yu-Gi-Oh kid when I was
Oh,
growing up.
yeah.
So it's funny that when I started looking into like competitive games and getting into that I switched to Pokemon randomly.
I mean, in
Yeah.
terms of cards,
It's not like
Like-
too far off.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not that
I
different.
mean, yeah. It's just Yu-Gi-Oh doesn't have the other I guess media extensions that Pokemon has, like with the
Yeah.
games and the anime. Well, they do have the anime, but like games.
I think it's also like the Yu-Gi-Oh meta, like the way that card games work in general. They all like change so frequently, whereas in
Uh-huh.
Pokemon it would have changes, but they weren't as drastic, I guess.
it's just it's similar to the game is similar to the card game, right? Like we'll
Yeah.
have Z moves, we'll have whatever, and they'll add their little gimmick, and you can keep going. But the main thing about Pokemon is typically the same, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh yeah, it's still points and stuff, but the changes they have, and the cards get longer and longer, and the text gets more complicated. Whereas back then, obviously, it wasn't. But I also watched a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh growing up too. Good
Yeah.
show.
I think I was probably around, or like I started around a similar time as Joey. I think the first time I was introduced to it was I was at a friend's house when I was like 5 or something, 4 or 5, and we were like carpooling, right? That was like a pretty common thing, going to school together. They were a lot older than me. Well, not a lot, but like 4 or 5 years older, and they had a Game Boy Color, like a legit Game Boy Color. And they would play like Pokemon Red and Blue in like the back seat of the car while we were in the car. And I was like so fascinated by it because I didn't understand what was going on. And so after a while of just like observing them, I eventually convinced my parents when I was like I think 5 or 6 to get a Game Boy. I think that was right at the time Game Boy Advance came out, and I had the OG Game Boy Advance, like the one without a backlight, which was like very
Yeah.
unique at the time because once the SP came out, everybody switched.
Oh my God, we could
Um,
see. We could actually see.
Yeah. So yeah, and then I think Gold or Silver or maybe both. Those were my first games. And then I started watching like the anime. I collected all the VHSs of the first season. I got like 80% of it still with me. And in terms of like YouTube content and consuming that, I think I maybe casually watched some YouTube content, but I think when I like thought competitive was like somewhat interesting to me, I'm pretty sure like Joey's channel was like one of the first ones because I think I asked on like Reddit or something like, where do I go to like
Good channel.
watch people play? And they were like, yeah, watch Pokemon MMOs Road to Top 10. So I like binged to that. It was super cool. So I think I mean, I started like very, very young and I've been interested ever since. But in terms of like getting into it, like I guess quote unquote more seriously, not that I'm serious, but that's been a more recent thing. So
Yeah, I have it's a storied tale. I was born a little later than everyone else in here. I guess I'm the baby of the group here. But I did, however, I had a bunch of siblings, and so I lived, despite being born in 2002, I had the kind of like the obligatory 90s kids life, just because I got a bunch of hand-me-downs.
2002.
Yeah, I am 20 years of age.
Yep.
But
Yeah.
I did start with a Game Boy, with the original Red game, because my sister used to play Pokemon, but then she just kind of like gave it to me. So I was some like dumb 3-year-old kid running around with the level 100 Charizard just killing stuff because I didn't know what to do.
Yeah,
But
that's
I'd
me.
say-
in Red
that was
too.
me.
My first like proper experience was probably not until Diamond Pearl, in which I played Pearl and I beat that game and I liked it, and so I then discovered the anime, and there would be reruns sometimes of the older stuff on like Boomerang, I think, but initially it was like the Diamond and Pearl anime is kind of where I started watching it, but I didn't get into like competitive for a while. Eventually, as with all things, Pokemon was like, oh, it's not cool anymore, and so I stopped playing it because I mean, everyone else didn't do it, so my art, whatever. So
there was also this random like mid 2010s where the Pokemon was just like out, but then Pokemon Go came out a few years later, and it's just all of a sudden everyone was into Pokemon.
Yeah, like 2000, like around the time Black and White was coming out was when everyone's like, no, this isn't cool anymore, and I'm like, all right, whatever. But I did end up getting back into the game because my cousin was really into it, and I would play with him sometimes. So I get back into the game. I still don't really know anything about competitive at that point, and so I was a big Minecraft kid, and so I actually started playing Pixelmon, and I got my ass beat by the original server was Pocket Pixels, and they had like real people doing the gyms and stuff instead of like NPCs, and so I got my ass beat a bunch of times at like later gyms that started to get a little bit harder. So I'm like, all right, what do I do? And so I kind of like discovered competitive Pokemon from Pixelmon, and slowly but surely got better from that. Yeah, and so
Pixelmon is such a fun.
That's wild, dude.
What's funny is I think I played on that same Minecraft server during my very short Pixelmon / Minecraft phase.
I have my personal qualms with the server now. I'm not going to go into that. That could be like its own podcast episode, but I met a lot of good people there. I still talk to a lot of them. Like 7 years later or whatever since I first played. But yeah, met a lot of good people through there, and technically you all, I guess, because I continued to be into Pokemon or whatever.
Gotcha.
I feel like the YouTube side of things, I started watching. So the first Pokemon YouTuber I ever watched was Patters by accident. So he did about I think I mentioned this back in the video game episode, but he uploaded Dragon Ball Z game videos.
Well, you
Yes.
Yeah, and so that's where I found him initially, and then he was doing a bunch of Nuzlocks and stuff, and so I watched his content. I don't really watch him anymore. He kind of like changed how his content works, and I'm not as into Pokemon as I was, so I can't say I really watched him recently, but he's still around doing his
You don't
thing.
like him beating Emerald every day? A different way, though?
I think he just Twitch streams a lot now. I'll see.
Yeah. He does a lot of editing. And
Like,
it's,
tune in every
I
so
think that's
often.
kind of the way now with Pokemon, though, right? Because like Smollett and
Yeah.
stuff kind of like started that.
Yeah.
Let's Plays just aren't as in anymore, I guess, because the algorithm and how it works now. But
Yeah. This like really random, but since you mentioned Pixelmon, does anyone remember this like old Pokemon MMO called like Pokemon Cave or something?
Pokemon Crater?
I have no idea.
Crater!
Yeah,
That's it.
Pokemon-
Oh my
Pokemon
gosh.
Crater. Yeah, it wasn't
That
Cave,
was
it
my
Crater.
childhood. Or
Yeah,
like
it was
middle school,
great.
whatever.
Played that with my my
That was
cousin's
so
child
cool.
into it as well. Yeah,
Yeah.
loved it. It was like that and Neopets I played.
Yeah. Yeah. This
Like-
is some boomer
Oh,
talk.
I'm
I
going to
was,
the
I
website
was
right
still
now.
stuck
Pokemon
in my
Crater.
my 10 years of playing RuneScape at that point in time. Probably.
Okay, understandable. Yeah, it was like an old like
Dark days.
you'd like walk around and catch Pokemon. It was like really crude, but like at the time, just being able to like, because everything at that point was like pretty much single player, except for like I guess Wi-Fi battles were around, but like the MMO like aspect of it, even if it was like very like rough around the edges, it's like super cool to me as a kid. So that's why I just like
I
it sticks in my
remember
mind.
later on, just like Pokemon MMO came out, and I remember a lot of people really liked that. For the
Sounds
same
very
reason.
familiar.
It's like Poke1 or something. It's like the official
Yeah.
thing, I think.
It was like a weird, like it was basically.
Yeah,
like
I remember
you,
this.
You get it, and you play base Fire Red, but everyone else is also playing
Yes.
base Fire Red in the same world, and you can
Yes.
kind of interact with them.
Now there's like Pokemon Battle Arena, which is like
Okay, I haven't heard of that one.
which is like the new Pokemon Crater.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
Yeah, I never
Okay.
played too many like the side games. I say the main ones would be like the Mystery Dungeon, and then I played like
Yes.
one Pokemon Ranger game, I guess.
I loved the Pokemon Ranger games.
I
like-
loved Ranger. Yes.
I only ever played Guardian Signs, and you could do like co-op in that, so some of my friends would play
Oh,
every
You
now
yeah.
and
should
then.
play. You should play the first two. They're actually
Yeah.
really fun.
I don't know if I have the patience for that anymore. I
It
don't
would be
know.
hard on
Pokemon games are like
emulators.
kind of hard to go back to sometimes. Like I'll play like a fan game every now and then.
Yeah.
Which I don't know, because I feel like I've reached the point where I have to do challenge runs or do like really
Yeah.
stupidly hard games. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's really I don't know. You have to look for the difficulty because the normal games are too easy, but like some games are bullshit. Like Dark Rising, if you don't know what's coming, you don't win. And I knew what was coming, and I still couldn't beat it because there's just so much Nuzlocke anyway. Because I went through. I don't remember if I mentioned this here. I might have talked about it before. I can't remember, but there were 2 Regigigases without slow start in the Elite Four, and
You have.
yeah,
You at least talk to me about this.
I sacrificed my Frostlass with Destiny Bond to kill one of them. I didn't know the second one existed. And so I had a Musharna. This Musharna was like my second thing I ever caught. It somehow survived at the end of the game. Or my Muna turned into a Musharna anyway. And it was I had it set up with like combines, and I think I might have had a defense boost as well with like X defense or something. And so this thing was like +6/+6. No, actually I didn't have the defense. I just had the combines because it was like a Mewtwo lead. And so I got all the combines and stuff, and I killed Mewtwo. I'm like, all right, I can just win this now. This is easy. And then the second Regigigas came out, and it was just over. I literally could not beat it. It one-shot Musharna, and that was just reps.
Yeah, some of the challenge games are like really weirdly balanced. So
I'm not so much into ROM hacks and things like that, mainly because I don't feel as compelled to finish, because it's not like I mean, I'm supposed to be doing this on my Patreon, but I want to keep finishing Pokemon Green because it's a cool version of Fire Red, right? But like I don't feel as compelled to finish, and I enjoyed like Insurgents and things like that when I played through them. But if I died in Nuzlocke, I'm like, okay, I'm done. Mainly because it's not the real game for me, obviously. So it's like when a new game comes out, I want to beat it because the new game leads to competitive, right? Obviously, I can see it on Showdown, but I want to experience the Pokemon first in front of me, type of thing, before I go to it. So
yeah.
I always feel different about it.
I always feel like it's hard to like self-impose a lot of rules on yourself too, when it's like the game won't punish you if you don't do the rules. Not to necessarily be like, I'm gonna break the rules, but it feels like I'm doing something against like the nature of playing the game.
The spirit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Not. I mean, I tried. There are like some with like the actual rules,
like Insurgents has a bunch of challenge stuff baked in.
Yeah, or like Kaizo, like literally just mechanically does not let you like, what is it, like items in battle or something like that? Yeah, or items out of battle.
It's like that's how Fire Emblem is too, right? Completely different style of game, but you could put Fire Emblem in a mode where if the character dies, you can't use the character anymore. And so to me, it's like that gives me an option of, if I want to do the challenge run, the game can force me to do the challenge run.
What we need, I think the Insurgent method is like really good, where it's just like at the start of the game you just have options, and you can. I mean, I assume you can change it midway through. I forgot. I haven't played Insurgent.
I don't think you can. You can maybe go into files or something and change it. I don't know.
Yeah, but anyway, having the option to like change it so that mechanically it just lets you do whatever you want is like, I think that's a lot better than like imposing the rules upon yourself. I can never stick to that personally. So.
It's like for videos or streams, I think it's easier for me to impose the rules because I have people holding me accountable.
Accountability.
But at the same damn time though, I'll forget to catch a Pokemon in a route, and it's like, oh, I already uploaded 3 different episodes or recorded 3 episodes ahead. So it's like, but I don't know. It's I enjoy challenge mode. In fact, I like that Black and White had challenge mode. I thought it was really cool. I don't like that I had to beat the game to do it, but
yeah.
It makes sense too because they want you to experience the game, that they made first, to see, okay, this is how the game is first. Because if you play the game for the first time through challenge mode, maybe some kids play it by accident. This game's too hard. I hate Pokemon. Maybe that's like the thought process. I have no idea. They never brought that back though. But that's because Black and White, people love it now, but during its time there was a lot of discourse.
Yeah, people hated it
because they couldn't have their old Pokemon in the actual.
Yeah, I thought that was like super cool.
It was kind of like the original, original like Dexit stuff.
They did add that or whatever though. It was just it was really a complicated process. Because I remember they had like the shiny beast event, and you can get Zoroark or whatever. So you'd have to like transfer one of those shinies over to get that. And I remember doing that, but it was like some weird process. It wasn't just as simple as trading.
Yeah. Also, I think challenge mode was like a version exclusive, wasn't it? There's like easy mode
Black and White
1 and
2, and it was the only ones that had it. But
I think it was just the second Black and White.
The first one did not.
Yeah, no, I think one of the games had like easy mode, and the other games had like challenge mode, and you had to like link the 2 games to like get access to the other mode. I'm like 99% sure that was the case, but I could be misremembering. But like,
you got the keys after you beat the game.
Yeah.
Oh, gotcha.
You beat the game on easy mode, and then you unlock challenge mode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But at that point, it's like I've already beat the game.
I just beat your game. Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
unless like what they should have done was, because obviously they made the gyms harder, but what they should have done was they should have made the Pokemon and the routes different too, to make it like
Sure.
almost a different type of game,
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
a different experience.
Too much for Game Freak though. One game is enough.
One thing I really
All
wish
indie
the
company.
games did that actually happens in the anime is if I'm going to fight a gym leader and this gym leader has 3 Pokemon, don't let me bring 6 Pokemon into the battle. I love that the anime will do like 3v3s or 4v4s and stuff like that. Especially with like early gyms. I wish like if you faced Brock in Pewter City and he has his Geodude and his Onix, you were only allowed to bring 2 Mons.
Yeah.
It'd be a cool restriction. It'd be more fitting, but at the same time, I mean, when do they have continuity? Like you play through the game in singles player, but VGC is the official format, right? The only introduction, like in that regard, right? Like
Well,
if they
and
did follow that, well, go on.
it's super weird too because they don't even a lot of the games they don't even have like a good introduction to doubles in general. So for a lot of newer players, there's not like a good once you beat the game, there's not like a good way for you to go like learn how to be doing
Yeah.
the official competitive
You don't know what the
stuff.
hell you're supposed to do. Yeah, even if you just go
Yeah.
online, you don't know. I mean, that's why this game actually had, Sword and Shield had the first time we had, not for the first time a doubles gym because we've had doubles gyms before, but for the first time it actually had like a VGC style thing and even through strategies to help it work. What they should have done was, if you like that, you should try the Pokemon. You should look up the Pokemon like World Championships or something like that. They should have just made one little line like that. Probably would make a world of difference.
Advertising.
Yeah.
Because it's like right now, if I know nothing about Pokemon and I'm like trying to get into VGC, the best thing is for me to not look for sources within Pokemon, but it's to go to find like Wolfie or Cybertron or someone who knows VGC and kind of learn off of them, which is fine. But I would just think if this is the format that Pokemon has accepted as their competitive, there would be at least some exposure through the base game.
I still remember. It's Ruby Sapphire. I think it was Ruby Sapphire. I think I had Sapphire. I went to, I think it was like the route after the first forest. And there, like on the bridge, there's a double battle. And I remember I was like so confused. I was like, what the heck? It was cool. It was cool
What
at
is
the time.
I think
on?
you get to skip that battle if you only have one Pokemon, I think.
Yeah,
Yes,
you
you
do.
do.
You do.
It's
You
so
battle.
weird.
You actually battle. I think you battle. Do you battle them one at a time? Or
One
you-
at a
Yeah, I
time.
think
Emerald, you
it's
battle
either
one
one
at
at
a
a time or you just hard skip. I can't remember.
Yeah,
might
you
be-
skip
might-
in one of the games and you hard
Can you
battle.
also talk to them separate?
It might be
That was a
skipping the
trick I
original.
didn't know as a kid, that if you see 2 trainers lined up and you can talk to one of them, you could just talk to one.
You can do
with
it
the
to
double
some
battle.
of them, not those little girls on the
Yeah,
bridge, though.
you can do it with people that are like multi battles. You know what I mean? Like 2 people on the like other side, or
Yeah.
either side, like going to you. But if they're like twins or whatever, you can't. Like if you talk to one, you battle both of them.
Like
Yeah.
that one above Slateport where you had the 2 just chilling in the road, just waiting to jump you.
Yeah.
literally.
Think like a Plusle and Minun.
Yeah.
Yes, I remember that one.
I never
Remember that
actually
one.
did play Sword and Shield because at the time I was
Me
away at
neither.
college and my alternative Nintendo Switch that I had with me was not powerful enough to be a Nintendo Switch, so I couldn't play the game. I did,
Oh.
of course, my alternative Nintendo Switch at home was powerful enough to play Legends Arceus, though, so I have gotten a 3D
course.
experience.
I liked Sword and Shield. I wish it had more as far as a story, and it obviously had some issues, but like it was a Pokemon game, and I enjoy Pokemon games. So I
Need some backstory.
I enjoyed it. I think it was worth my time playing. I don't know if I could ever,
Replay.
tell someone like, "Oh, you have to go play Sword and Shield." And yeah, I don't know if how replayable it is.
I didn't catch the Ditto. I mean the Diglets. All the Diglets for the DLC. I got tired of that.
Oh, I forgot about that.
I just
I
feel
think
like
I had like 7 or not 70. I don't remember how many there were. I had like a lot of them, and I was just like, I don't know where the rest are. I give up.
I just feel like the whole lead up to the game felt really like I didn't want to buy it. Like, of course, there's like the National Dex cut stuff, which at first it's like, all right, whatever, it'd be like that. But then when it was revealed that Game Freak's just lazy or whatever, they're using the same models, and then they added them back through DLC. I'm like, all right, dude. Like, I feel like I just expect more out of the the most profitable franchise in human history.
Well, I think, I mean, Scarlet and Violet's going to be insane for Pokemon, though, just
Yeah, I
based on
think
everything.
it
I
depends.
love the aesthetic of Scarlet and Violet.
I think
Just,
it
like,
has a lot of
I
potential.
I know very little about it outside of the trailers, but even just looking at the trailers, like, it's just one of those they got me moments. They showed the first trailer showing the region and everything, and I'm already excited for it.
I think it does have a lot of potential because like Legends Arceus, while I didn't like overly care much for the game in the end, it was a good concept for Pokemon to go forward with.
Yeah, I like the concept.
And so
I thought it was really fun. It's just I don't want to say it was unpolished, but it felt like a dipping your toe in the water for this type of game type of
it
experiment.
felt like something I could make in like Unity or something. Like it was too empty. It was the issue with it for me. Like it's unfair to compare it to Elden Ring because that's like, you know,
It's like very different.
that's a very big
production.
level game. But after playing Elden Ring, like having already played Sword and Shield, just like what an open world should be, there should just be a lot of shit for me to do, and I just did not feel like Legends Arceus gave that. There was like 2 houses maybe in like the entire region outside of the main village.
Oh wow, really?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
like, there's this random like
Which-
lady's house that they let you travel to, and then there's the main village, and then there's like the one single village that like is in one like one of the end game areas, I think. So it just got to a point where everything felt really repetitive, I guess. There's just not enough in the world.
It was a very slow start to the game as
It
well.
was
which
a
is
really
nice.
long tutorial,
Yeah,
yeah.
like an hour and a half, 2 hours, damn near. The catching Pokemon, doing the things you have to do was cool. The climax I hated, and I think the build up to it was like really lazy. Personally,
The
but I don't
battle,
want to
yeah, the battle was kind of fun.
I never felt really challenged through the game. I thought it was like the new system they added was kind of cool with like agile.
It was
and strong.
interesting.
It was
It
a
was
change.
interesting, but like it was just I don't know. I don't think it's like it wasn't competitive in a way, which I
Yeah.
didn't like about that at all. Like I could see what they were doing, or if they go for priority move or attacking twice, cool, whatever. I just boost my moves and I'll kill you. Like
Yeah, I never felt the need to like grind ever. Like I was underleveled the whole game, and it did not matter. I feel
Yeah, you
like
didn't have to.
the damage, because like I had like I think I had like a level 60 Pokemon that like it was a resisted move, sure, but I could not kill level 3s with like a level 60, and I'm like, what is going on here?
Well, it's because they had
Damage was-
I don't know what it's called. It's not Stardust, but they had that. It's like EVs basically, right? That super boost your attack. All the other Pokemon had them, but yours, for the most part, which is why, even when you're higher level or lower level, they still do a million damage more to you. But I think the game did have some pretty cool things for innovation, like being able to choose when to evolve my Pokemon when I click on it, which people are saying is coming back in Scarlet and Violet, which I think is pretty cool.
Yeah,
And the move set change on the Pokemon. I don't think it ever made sense why Pokemon would just completely forget a move, right? Like they
Yeah.
were,
Mhm.
you don't. I mean, you
You can
do-
always remember it, right? So it's
Exactly,
like, why have that
exactly.
extra step? It's like,
Yeah,
Exactly.
why do I
is
have
it
to go
convenient?
find the guy? To,
So
like,
apparently that's
teach?
coming back too, right? So I think that's a really cool, upgrade to a real competitive game. I think that's Legends Arceus needed battling, like it desperately needed battling in my opinion for the longevity of the game, right? Because I didn't 100% the game, but I know a lot of people who did, and they finished it within a couple weeks, or like a week or two. And after that, like, what are you supposed to do in the game, right? I guess if you like shiny hunting, you can shiny hunt, but you got them all. Like, what else is there to
I
do?
feel like there's no, especially like the people like 100% at all the Pokedex challenges and stuff. Like you don't even get anything for that. They're like, all right, good
They
job,
just pat you on the back. Yep.
good job, dude. Nothing.
I mean, it's
no
it's
reward.
always been a good job though. Like, I mean, they give you the Matsuda chain or whatever it's called in some things, but it's usually like a little certificate. Nice job, you did
Yep.
it.
Yeah, but
I
like
used-
something. I feel like it's a new level for stuff as well with like Legends Arceus because like you have to catch a lot of Pokemon and
Yeah.
and kill them a lot and so many different weird niche things to do.
Yeah.
You think like
know if
maybe
it's
a
gonna
transfer?
be-
I don't know.
I don't know, and I actually doubt it'll be put into Scarlet and Violet, but I hate that Legends Arceus teased me with the Frostbite mechanic being like
Dude, I wish.
somewhat of a viable like freeze status that's similar
Yeah.
to burn instead of what we have in competitive, which is just freeze, which is what it is, but it is incredibly frustrating at times. And I look at Legends Arceus do its like alternate mechanics to stuff like that because obviously freeze would not make sense to be broken in the Legend Arceus system. And I'm like, but could we take Frostbite at least and like make it our real mechanic?
Yeah, I mean,
perfectly
I'd be cool with Frostbite. I think Drowsy was a little broken at times, but I'd be definitely cool with Frostbite.
Yeah, I don't know. Drowsy versus sleep is like a different debate to me. Which is where it gets weird because it's like if I want Frostbite, then it's do I have to then say that we'll take Drowsy too?
I feel like you can do one.
But I don't
or the
know.
other.
It's also like I'm just generally a big fan of Ice type Pokemon, so I'm kind of like give us some real utility instead of just RNG utility that's a little busted.
Yeah.
Has the
Yeah.
opportunity to be busted anything. I guess it's like a lot of Pokemon, but Freeze definitely like if you get frozen for long enough, it's extremely frustrated. Which
I mean, even one turn is like
One-
sometimes it can be like game ending.
yeah, like and that's a lot of Pokemon as well, and that's kind of why I've fallen out of competitive because it just gets annoying after a while. I really got into competitive a lot with Gen 8, and eventually I kind of stopped because OU I feel like took too long to. The new teleport meta was definitely awful, and then when Melmetal came in, they banned it. I'm like, okay, please just let my man's in. And then he failed the suspect test. I'm like, okay, whatever.
Where I love the random days though with OU where they allow just whatever the new toy is that definitely should not be OU.
The start of like the
Shadow
Genesect and stuff. Oh my lord.
Yeah, I love
like
the
when it's
one
for the-
day.
I like the broken new Pokemon. I don't like when they get banned instantly. I didn't like that we went through the entire Sword and Shield without Dynamax. I think that even if it was just for a weak suspect test, it should have been, you know, some sort of like thing. Maybe Dynamax is the wrong example. Galarian Darmanitan. That Mon, for instance, we didn't have Melmetal back then. We didn't have Tapu Fini. I don't think we had the Teleport Bros until post home.
Yeah, that was DLC or poem.
So yeah, exactly. So like we didn't have Volcarona. Not saying that any of these are counters. We didn't have Heatran, right? Like not saying these are counters, but it's like it's sure it's a 50-50 every time, but like there's a point where
What's funny is you say they're not counters, but I played a lot of draft, and I've just watched Galarian Darm in draft format just plummet from being like fringe banned to being just undrafted in most draft leagues. And draft is obviously a very different format than OU, but it is like in draft I've seen all these changes and all these things come and like actually affect the usage of Galarian Darmanitan, for example.
Yeah.
Draft
I
is
think in
definitely a
draft-
different beast.
Yeah, I think the reason probably that it's like worse in draft is just my speculation. It's like very one dimensional. So like it's probably not super hard to prepare for, but I think in OU when you have to like
prepare for basically
like
everything.
You have to prepare for everything. Yeah. It's like you can't look at a team like a assortment of like 11 Pokemon and like decide where to cut your losses. It's like an OU, it's like very, very hard to like not like if you don't want to lose to Galarian Darmanitan, it's like very likely. I mean, I don't know, but I'm just that's just my speculation.
I agree. I'm not saying that because it got worse in draft, it should have been unbanned in OU, but I'd say it is interesting saying like, oh, we got all these things in OU that maybe could have
it's a test. Like I think a test was warranted. Like, bro, there's a huge difference between having Melmetal, Heatran, Volcarona, Toxapex was there, but like these Pokemon, right? And also, other Pokemons are already banned right now, like Ace and things like that too. Then having Heavy Duty Boots Rotom Heat as my counter, like there's a huge difference between those two.
For sure.
Yeah. So like and then even then, obviously, Heavy Duty Boots Rotom Heat could like be flinched if it got flinched like I think twice, it could lose to it. But there's a big difference between that, right? So I was just like, maybe this is something that could have been. It didn't have. I feel like it's someone that didn't have a fair shot because it got banned Dynamax meta basically, and a whole lot of other things come.
Dynamax in singles was also just really weird for a lot of people because I think after watching a lot of VGC and like seeing VGC content, I actually like Dynamax in VGC. I think it's not balanced per se, but it adds another element that makes me be like, okay, I'm kind of down.
Good old Max skill
I think it's
stream.
like way easier. Yeah, Max skill stream. Yeah, I think it's a little bit easier to deal with in doubles. Just like, I mean, it's like it's like you're dealing with the other half isn't Dynamax, so it's like it's a
Yeah.
little bit more manageable, right?
It's
the power
singles
difference.
is definitely overwhelming. It's like
Yeah.
overwhelming. I feel like the Dracovish era was one of the most like polarizing things I've seen because like every team had water absorb, or you just like
Toad,
That mon
Teleport,
is like,
Corviknight.
I don't know. That mon is crazy.
Seismitoad had his run. I feel like I don't know. It maybe could have came back. With all the
Dracovish?
with all
I don't
DLC,
wanna see
with the
that thing.
DLC editions, maybe.
Yeah, but then Sand Rush
it's-
came out too, so it was
Yeah,
like,
Yeah, it's also-
Rush.
It like doesn't change anything. You know what I mean? It's like you have more Pokemon to counter it, but it's like still the same thing where it's like
the difference between
Given
that and
enough
Darm
time,
is
it'll break
Darm
through
can
the
miss. Darm can miss, right? And they do that. Darm's weak to Stealth Rock.
yeah.
Dracovish is
Yeah.
not. But like
Yeah.
I talked about it before, and I saw some people like we tested it in National Dex, it was still broken. It was like you guys have Z moves, you guys have Pursuit, you guys have Hidden
Yeah.
Power. Of course, Darmanitan is going to be broken. And you have Mega
Yeah.
Pokemon. Like of course it's going to be broken when I have to deal with not only Darmanitan but Mega Mawa, Mega Lopunny with close combat triple axle U-turn, right? Like of course it's going to feel broken there, or with
Yeah.
the 200 base power moves coming out. Like,
National Dex was
obviously.
not a meta. That
National Dex is
was
an
supposed to
abomination. Let's
exist.
say that.
I enjoy playing it, but it's for sure just I don't know. It's like we already play a fake meta game on Smogon, right? It's not the real meta game, but it's like
Yeah, fair enough.
It's like a super fake meta game. It's just like I feel like it could be a really good tier if it was just Gen 8
If
with
it
all
was
the Pokemon.
Gen 8,
If it was literally Gen 8 with all the Pokemon, I think it'd be a good tier.
because it's not receiving
Yeah.
the same focus as like OU would when
Yeah.
in terms of like councils and such.
Also, the way they decide to do things, like, oh yeah, this hidden power is going to give you this. Well, they used to have Dynamax too, but like this Z move on this move or whatever.
Oh,
Like they added certain things that we
Yeah,
don't
is
know.
that how it works?
We don't know like certain.
we don't
mechanics.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's never existed in the game, so
Yeah.
yeah.
They did it with Dynamax when I had Dynamax. That is.
Dynamax was fun, but a little sus.
I don't know.
I miss it. I miss it in Ubers.
Ubers was
Oh yeah, it wasn't
interesting to
Time
start.
was fun.
I really think it could come back in Ubers and not be insanely broken because Ubers also had double Zacian to deal with.
Zacian
Yeah,
is
awesome.
that's
a fucking I don't know, dude.
custom mod.
Absolute menace. Yeah, it's custom. I've said it somewhere before, but Zacian and like Zamazenta, it just feels like one dog is like beloved by the family and the other one just like on their way out. They're just waiting for it to die or something.
Crazy.
I just like they made body press. That move is for Zamazenta and they just didn't give it to him.
It has iron defense too, like in Smoothful. It would be a legitimately fantastic option because it's a fighting type that can deal with fairies.
They
Yeah.
just
It'd be a
didn't give it
fantastic
body
option.
press though. Like, all right, so your best fighting move lowers your defense, which is against your
So
whole
what-
stick. Like,
I'm gonna calc Zamazenta right now +6 versus Eternatus.
One
Plus-
shots.
It probably does one shot. Like there's no way it does.
I thought it was funny when it was tested in OU. Honestly, I didn't even think it was that bad. It might have been a little
Yeah,
overwhelming, but like
I voted no ban. I voted to keep it. I thought it was like
I thought it was fine. I thought it was like one of the
it was
better.
like strong
Yeah,
versus the right team.
I would have known.
But like I think you could adapt around it.
I think it was one of the better mons. It's just it was not
Yeah.
broken enough to ban. I think it'd have been fun.
Yeah.
And OU needed some fun because they keep banning everything that was offensive. They had to keep
Yeah.
their Lord Clefable at the top.
Oh, when they did the what was it? It was either the Magearna suspect. No, it was a Cinderace suspect. It was
Uh-huh.
one of those two, and they quick banned the other one. I was really upset that they did it. I was
think
like,
they-
oh,
Quick
yeah. I
ban
think
Mag and then they tested Cinderace. Or they might have quick banned them both and then tested
no, they
Cinderace
quick
later.
banned. They quick banned Ace. They quick banned Ace.
Yeah.
Mag was fine to be banned.
Yeah,
but
that mon
they-
was
No,
so
I
broken.
thought Cinderace was like in a long game. I feel like that mon was like always a ticking time bomb. So
Yeah,
I always hated that one.
I
Yeah.
mean, that's fair, but it also gets worn down the same way. Like it always U-turn on slow, bro, taking that little.
Yeah,
percentage.
you could.
Rillaboom 2 it KOs it with Grassy Glide type of thing. Like
Yeah.
It
it's insane.
yeah.
Also +6 body press to max HP Eternus. They run 164, but to max HP is only 60 to 71.
Yeah.
So it's not even. It's a solid 2 KO.
I mean,
Actually, no,
it is
it
resisted
gets,
though.
it can get pressure stalled.
Yeah,
You
I
just
mean,
keep recovering.
yeah. It's weird they didn't give it to. Like they made body press, they like forgot to code it in. Like, gosh, no, we can't get it in now. It's too late. The game's
Yeah,
already
it's
shipped.
So dumb.
I would legit believe that they
Wait,
forgot. I
Impish
would
does
legit-
66 to 78. Ooh, I'd run
That's pretty
Impish
good.
too.
Ooh.
That's
Yeah,
a nice
'cause
count.
It takes. I didn't even put HP on it, but like if you put max HP, max defense, it only takes 28 to 33% from Mystical Fire. This one's a
crazy.
demon.
Yeah, it'd
So I
been
had a
cool,
question.
Buddy Press.
That's like one of those Pokemon. There's like I feel like every gen you get like this batch of Pokemon across various tiers that are I want them to just be somewhere that they can shine.
Mhm.
Whether it's go down a tier or just like have utility, and it sucked watching Zacian just be
Broken.
a deity basically
You're
and just
broken.
destroy everything. And then Zamazenta is there was the fun like OU moments and stuff like that, but just kind of not be viable pretty much the entire
It just never stood a
gen.
chance.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah. I have a question. So this is not related to competitive Pokemon, but it kind of popped into my head just because we were talking about the history of like where we started Pokemon. Do you guys remember any theory that you had? You know the old theories which were like the Mew was under the truck. You guys remember that?
Yeah.
Did you guys have any theory or hear of any theory or a theory that was like popular amongst your like friend group that you like
Yeah.
vividly remember?
There's a lot of different ones. I think I tweeted about it recently too. But
Oh,
like
really?
there was like an emerald. You beat the Elite 400 times and talk to the meteor, and you go to the moon, which he kind of did in
Yes.
Oras. I think they did that because of that.
Because of that,
Yeah, there
Uh-huh.
was also ones where you could find a red Rhyhorn in the same place where you find Lapras in Gold and Silver. There was Crystal Onyx. There was the Pink Butterfree. There's so many things, dude. Like legitimately so many. I remember if you flew to Lily Cove Center 50 times, you get like a glitch Pokemon or something like that. Celebi, if you mash the shrine 5,000 times, type of thing. Like all that stuff was just.
Mhm.
There were definitely
yeah.
liars out there.
Yeah.
I remember also, this isn't exactly what you're talking about, but I remember always thinking that certain button commands would give me higher odds of catching
Dude,
a Pokemon.
A-B.
Yes.
It's the
Yes.
best one.
That was probably my favorite one because so many of us had this like headcanon of like, oh, I should hit a button while I'm throwing a Pokeball, but we all have different combinations.
Yeah.
I can't remember any, like, besides, like, the popular ones, like Mew's under the truck. I can't remember too many, I can't remember any, like, specific one. But I did love, like, the wonder of, like, like, searching on the internet for everything. I didn't know Giratina was in that cave in Pearl. And so I was exploring, and I found this, like, new path. I'm like, what the hell? And I walked through here, and I go through this whole cave. I don't remember how long it took, because obviously it's, like, a puzzle or whatever to go through the right door. But finding Giratina was like such a surreal feeling because like that's like why is this even here? Because like
it's like
I'm
a
just a dumb kid.
Zygarde
Oh,
in
Zygarde,
XY.
yeah.
Like imagine stumbling upon Zygarde, but that
Yeah,
would
and Terra Teleta in the cave.
that would
Yeah.
also be a fun one. That if back in the day when I couldn't just search for where everything is, if I just stumbled on the Zygarde, I feel like that would be another fun one.
Yeah, I feel like I did that with
Yeah.
Cobalion too in what's it called? Black and White. Because they were all in like the weird caves or whatever.
Yeah, they were all. I think the other one that I did, Heatran, in
Platinum.
Because all these super cheats and game facts threads were usually filled with lies, so it was
Yes.
cool to find actual ones that could help, especially because the internet was just coming up at the time.
Dude, who was the
I think I had
first like sorry, but with the Reggies, who thought of that? Because that wasn't like
Oh,
couldn't-
yeah,
no
those
one,
were,
no
like,
one was data mining back then. Like,
I-
who was like, oh yes, I know Braille, and you have to take like
no, we
specific-
the reason we knew that is because of the guidebook. It's a Ruby.
The
and Sapphire.
guidebook,
the
yes.
guidebook.
Oh, it was
Yes.
in the guidebook.
The
Just-
guidebook would tell you how it'd have a translation as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like you had to have like specific like Pokemon in your party, and
Yeah.
you needed to know Braille. It's like, all right,
Wailord comes first, Relicanth comes last, or something like that. Yeah.
yeah, like I don't know. I bet there are
It's
like
crazy.
maybe someone will find this and they have it in there. Like
Someone-
maybe we should put it in the guidebook, guys.
Yeah.
I don't know. No one's finding it.
There
What
was
was the most frustrating thing for you playing Pokemon, and why was it Skypillar doing the bike puzzle?
Dude, oh my
I
lord.
Oh,
hated the
yeah.
bike puzzle.
Fucking
those are so hard.
That was
The one I remember actually. Okay, I was just thinking about this because like I had like because it actually came true. I guess the one I remember was like I think it was gold or something. I had like Mandela affected myself into thinking they were level 1 Pokemon when the lowest level at the time was level 2, right? So I was like happy to see that it like whatever 3 generations later it actually came true. So there you go.
you
Also,
ever- Alright, no, go ahead.
oh yeah, no, it was just really quick. Like, do you remember in Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald? Maybe it was just Emerald, but there were houses where there was like trees in the back, and an exit, but like there were trees blocking the way, so you couldn't go through. It was supposed to be like an e-reader thing. I think there was one in like Sutopolis City, and I think
I don't think
if
I
I read
remember this at all.
You don't
No,
remember this? Oh my gosh!
I have an e-reader and I've never
Yeah.
successfully used it because
Yeah,
you need to connect
it
to
doesn't
somebody
work.
else.
But it's supposed to work. That was like the intent. I was so confused as a kid. I was like really creeped out by it because like there was an exit, but there were trees blocking the way. Like, how am I supposed to go behind that thing? So
Yeah.
yeah, those are like just two of the things I remember. So
Were there any like because I was a dumb kid playing Pokemon, so like
Mhm.
obviously the puzzles are not supposed to be hard, but do you have any puzzles
Yeah.
you ran into that like the ice puzzles in the water gym for Emerald and
Those are
stuff?
hard.
Like I look back because I'm grown up and I have a functioning like brain now, and so I can like complete those obviously in one try, like speed run any percent.
Mhm.
But I look back and I'm like, I was a dumb kid, dude. I would always
Oh,
fall.
yeah.
I would never know what to do for like the longest time.
I think like the ice caves where you have to
Ice,
drop
oh
the
my
rocks.
God.
So like Seafoam Islands, but also
Yes.
the one in Johto. I
Yes,
think
that one was so
also
hard.
had that. The ones where you have to like do the strength rocks, but then push them down holes.
And you
so they
had to
end up in
skate
safe
around
spots.
too.
Yeah, those were probably the ones that I had the most trouble with as a kid.
Took me
You
like
might
5
get on the
hours to
ground
get
and
out
like
caves.
crawl on the ice or something, like slowly go
Yeah.
across. Like I don't need to run across.
Yeah,
Because it was
Pokemon
like
Yellow.
an ice puzzle, but also a strength puzzle.
Pokemon
Yep.
Yellow came out in '99, right? So for the
Yep.
US,
Yeah.
and I had played Red, but I was still young. No, I was basically not even. I was still 5. I was 5 at the time.
Mhm.
So when Pokemon Yellow came out, I got stuck in Silph Co for like 6 months. Like I would
Yes.
just go in there. I'd turn on my Game Boy. I'd battle because wild Pokemon used to pop up in there. I'd battle the wild Pokemon. I go to the bed and rest there, and then I turn off my Game Boy. And I repeated this for 6 months. By the time I got out of there, I was in the 70s with my Pikachu, my Blastoise, my Charizard, etc.
Yeah.
So it was pretty. That was definitely one of the things that kept me. One of my fondest memories was when I first got Pokemon Gold. I got a used version of it, and I guess somebody had used cheats with their Game Shark or whatever we used back then. I don't remember what it was.
Action Replay was the one I used.
Good old action
Well,
replay.
for
That's DS
Pokemon,
though.
for Pokemon Gold, it might not have been Action Replay.
Yeah, it might have been Game Shark. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's really, really, really old compared to like that
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah. I think Game Shark.
I definitely use Action Replay for other games though, like
Yeah.
Ruby, Sapphire, etc.
Yes.
But
yes.
so someone had done something. They had done some editing in the game, in my actual game. They'd actually done editing. So when I went to Goldenrod City, it was almost like open world-ish. There was no fences around anywhere, right?
Huh.
And I remember this vividly. Because I decided to start a new game because I was having trouble remembering how to save because, again, I was a stupid kid, which is crazy because I've done it in other games, but I didn't get it in this game for whatever reason. So I restarted it, and I saved after, and then I never got back to that. Obviously Goldenrod became whatever Goldenrod was. But I remember vividly, somebody must have glitched or anything because there's a bunch of glitches in Gold and Silver. Cloning Pokemon was one of my favorite things to do. So it sucks because I potentially had the coolest Pokemon Gold version ever, and I never got back to it.
Yeah,
But
there was
I
a
think
lot of weird things with the older games, like how they do speed runs. They like use the buttons on the Game Boy to like hack into the files for the game, like in the game.
Yeah.
It's like
It's so
crazy.
random. Technology is
Yeah.
weird.
I had like a really vivid like Action Replay memory where the Action Replay I had, like it could like make Pokemon spawn anywhere or like make your next encounter or something.
Yeah.
Yes.
But it wouldn't work for legendaries. So I kept trying it for legendaries and legendaries. Eventually I must have like corrupted the game files enough to where legit every encounter, even in water, was like a level 40 Sunflora. I'm like somewhere between level 40 and 42. Like everywhere. Like I don't know what I did, but it was all Sunflora everywhere. And I was like, I had to restart the game because it was that bad. That was like one of the things I remember as a kid.
Sounds like the intro to like a Pokemon horror movie.
When I had the Action Replay, I didn't really have a computer that I could what's it called? That I could like download the codes into. So I would manually search them on Super Cheats, and I would type in manually, the 60-line codes to get like a Charmander.
Yep,
on.
I also did
Remember
this.
It was a freaking pain when you finished and it did not work, but when it did work, it was awesome.
Yeah, now we
Definitely
have now emulators and stuff for like you can just copy paste much easier.
And the technology.
Yeah, I do love the use of alternative Nintendo devices.
I am a fan too.
Yeah.
Because EXP codes are like the only way I can play games now. Grinding is awful. I would never wish that upon my worst enemy. I don't know how I ever did it as a kid. Like level 100 legitimately? Like what are we doing here?
It is crazy to think how we just brainlessly over level through all these games to excessive amounts just by playing them. And then nowadays it's like I try to start grinding, I face 2 Pokemon, and I'm just like, nope, can't do it.
Yeah, I cannot get to level 10 off these level, 2 Pidgeys. I will be using my times 50 EXP code to go places. Some of the older ones, like the Game Boy ones, I can't always find what's it called, so I'll do rare candies as well, which feels like dirtier for no reason, but it's just a time save. It's not like I'm actually doing anything completely wrong. If anything, it's detrimental technically, because you don't get EVs.
I wish rare candies were purchasable in some way.
I wish you could buy a lot of things with in-game currency versus battle points.
That is absolutely true, especially competitive item, because like
PP ups and maxes need to be available. I need to be able to buy ethers and stuff too.
Yeah, I would always run out.
Yeah,
because the thing is, like, Pokemon doesn't want us to gen and all that, but honestly, like, just leveling up the Pokemon and even doing EVs is just the beginning to like getting actual competitive mons in a lot of cases. So it's hard, and I've at this point just said I'm not a cartridge player basically, but it does feel like, and they've done some things to help with this, especially with the EVs and everything. Now I want to be able to get my battle items and stuff like that, at least like a good chunk of the basics, like PP ups, HP ups, from just playing the game normally and not having to go do whatever the gimmick battle points facility we have this gen is.
I mean, the worst part is that they don't give you a lot of battle points. Like, I guess one of the ways you could cheat it is doing Pokemon Home, but like, I don't want to transfer my Pokemon. I'm fine with them being in their game.
yeah.
Like, that's me personally. Like, I'm fine with my Pokemon being in their base game.
I think if I had started out doing it like that, it'd be fun to have like all of my generations of Pokemon in like one bank. But at this point, I'm too deep into what would be, my Pokemon journey to be like, yeah, I want everything to just be put into home.
Yeah, I'm not going back to transferring. If you're gonna let me transfer boxes there, you better let me transfer boxes in the new game too. Shoot, that's like leaning into that, just transferring and stuff. Trading Pokemon needs to be faster. I don't need this whole animation, and I need to be able to trade more than one Pokemon to my friend.
Or at least let me turn the animation off.
Yep, let me turn the animation off, and also let me trade whole boxes. I don't care.
I think definitely multiple trades would be cool, because, I don't know, just give your friend like a Pidgey and a shiny Abra in the 5th round pick for next year or something like that.
I knew you were going to make it 5th round pick. Not necessarily a pick, but when you said that, I just immediately thought of NBA trade packages.
Yeah, I don't know. It'd be cool to do that type of stuff. And you spoke about like buying ethers and stuff. Those should definitely be like just in the Pokemon. Like, there's no reason that.
Dude, bro, there is zero reason why I have to save that the entire game just for the Elite Four.
Oh my god! Like as a kid, like I mentioned, Pearl was like the first game I like knew what I was doing or whatever. And Polion became my favorite Pokemon because I was playing against Cynthia, and her Garchomp did not do enough to my Empoleon to kill it with Earthquake or whatever. So I sat there with full restores until she ran out. But the problem is I didn't have any PP. So I struggled her Garchomp to death in a 1v1 situation to win my first game. It was awful. Because I
5 head strats.
It was
as a kid though, that was probably
as a kid. I beat her. I'm like, oh my god, Empoleon's so cool. And to this day, it's still the best Pokemon.
I vividly remember struggling with Lance's first Dragonite, and boy, did Keep Me not know what was gonna come out next.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, I remember encountering struggle in like Gold or something, and same in the Elite Four. It feels like it happened in the Elite Four, but I was like so confused. I was like, "What the heck is struggle? Like, what is this? Why am I getting damaged?"
Yeah, you
just think it's a bug or something. It's like, what's going on?
Yeah, I legit thought it was like a bug or something.
So everyone here definitely like never used Swords Dance or anything as a kid, right? It was always attacking moves only.
Oh, I use Swords Dance in game. I even to this day I won't use leftovers in game though, because I freaking hate the leftovers animation. As someone who's played what's it called?
Oh, true. I've never thought of it that way.
It's such an annoying thing, dude. As someone who played Diamond and Pearl and have to live through Blissies and stuff, I will never. I don't care if I'm doing a challenge run. I won't put leftovers on my Pokemon.
Yeah.
Unless, maybe a challenge run of a ROM hack that I can speed. I can
speed up
stuff,
button.
yeah.
I
Yeah,
think
but-
definitely with fuck, I forgot my point. Someone else speak.
Yeah. No,
the
I
weird
think
one that I had is I would use healing moves like recover. That was like the only.
Oh, I
that's
would
what I was
never
gonna
do that.
say.
I
Just
would
use
use-
items. Like nowadays, just like there's no reason to have healing moves because
yeah.
items exist. They're better. Like full
As
restore.
a kid,
Yeah.
I was 100% a recover spammer.
Yeah, I'd rather my slow bro have Fire Blast, Ice Beam, Surf, and Psychic.
Yes,
Then-
I would. I was about to say the same thing. I would like do everything possible to like make my Pokemon have like the most coverage possible, even if it was redundant. I had like this wheezing in like Sapphire Ruby or something, where it had like Rollout, Sludge, Thunder, and like some other random like maybe like a fire move or something. Like I just thought it was like cool to have like 4 different types of moves.
Yeah.
Roll
As a
out.
kid, I remember
Yeah,
thinking
Rollout,
things
legit Rollout.
I remember as a kid thinking things like Thunder Wave were like the worst move ever, and I was
Yeah.
just like,
if
why
it
would I
didn't
ever
do
run
damage,
this
why
move?
would you
Yeah.
ever run
Didn't
it?
do damage.
Yeah, my Pikachu to this day in yellow is Thunder, Mega Punch, Mega Kick, and Submission.
Yes, I think mine was pretty close. Yeah.
Bro, that's
Oh,
anime
what?
protagonist Pikachu.
Where's my yellow?
Uh,
I just got my Game Boy SPs fixed. I'm about to boot up my yellow and look at my team.
I
my
still
gosh.
have my old original Game Boy Advance somewhere. I think it's in storage
too.
right
I
now,
think-
but I definitely have it.
My
Along
mom
with
Wait,
all
those
my
games
gave it to
copies of
someone.
Wait,
Oh, gosh.
do the Game Boy games? Because I know they work on. Do they work on the Game Boy SPs?
No.
like the OG
I think
Game
that was
Boy
one of the
games.
features.
I don't think they do. I think they work on the original advances,
Yes.
but not SPs.
Yes.
Yeah,
correct.
that was a lame thing to do.
Yeah.
But I get it. Like PlayStation 1 games won't always play on. Well, I think the PlayStation 4 let you play original games. I'm not sure.
I always
As a
thought
That's
kid, I never really got it, but nowadays I'm like, oh, I guess like technology is a thing that you just can't say everything works always.
yeah,
But
That's why we emulate.
I thought it was cool
Yeah.
for the DS to have like the Game Boy option, like those the earlier
Yeah.
DSs anyway.
Yeah, that's what I was remembering too. Being able to play Game Boy games on the DS was awesome.
The DS had all the cool features, like when like with Mario Bros. If one person had it, like everyone could play.
Everybody had it. Yep. I remember
Wait,
that one
what?
person said.
That's how I got into Call of Duty. Yeah, the Call of Duty 4 for the DS, dude. You could play like one map and
Everybody,
use.
any
Not
game with
the
multiplayer.
DS
could do
game
that.
out of thought.
Yeah, if anyone had Call of Duty 4 for the DS, everybody had Call of Duty 4 for the DS in like limited fashion, of course, but like it was still fun.
That's like one of my most viral tweets, I think. Like I said, yeah, it's like 30K likes. The DS down era multiplayer games was undefeated. If one of the homies had a Mario Kart, all the boys were eating. Yeah,
Yeah, that stuff was so cool.
I didn't even know
Chat,
that you
dude.
could do
Picto
that.
Chat was fire.
Someone responded like, I remember during a field trip we played Mario Kart DS between 2 buses on the highway, and it was the sickest thing ever. Like that
No,
was
that's so cool.
actually insane.
Yeah,
That's true.
kids they'll never experience like it's the sweeter things in life, you know. Everyone can like play Fortnite with each other now,
Whenever.
because like
They
free
can
to
just
play
go
is a
grab
big
it,
thing.
yeah.
But yeah, back in the day, obviously, it's like you had to like pick and choose your games because you only got like you had like your Christmas, your birthday, and then maybe you saved up enough for like a third one. And so you had to like pick and choose a lot. And so when everyone had like their own different
When
games,
the squad could like strategize.
when someone had a game that no one else had, but everyone could play together because of the DS, that was very fire.
Dude, we would all just bring our DSs in middle school and just go home together. 8 of us playing Mario Party. It was so Mario Kart. It was so good.
Yeah.
Actually, so good.
There are a good amount of like free to play games nowadays. Though I don't know, like I don't know. There's a different feeling about like those kind of party games because you're like all there with your friends, not like online.
Yeah.
Definitely more fun. And like playing against like Pokemon battles with friends as well. Like the
Oh yeah,
They're
we
like
do that
the-
on the train.
yeah,
Me and my
yeah.
friends would do that on the train with Heart Gold, Soul Silver, stuff like that. They kept losing to me, but that's their fault.
I think the dumbest feature
We're
they ever
just
had
always
was they had the FaceTime in black and white. It was so
Yeah.
bad.
Oh, I
It was so
forgot
bad.
about
Oh yes. Yeah.
It was awful. We'd
Yeah.
be at like a school picnic or something, and like we'd all like call on the thing and just go different places, and then it would cut out, of course, because Nintendo. But
What was it? What was it called? You're like unlocking a memory. The intro,
it
whatever.
was like
intro?
X-Link or something. I can't remember. Extra Link.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it was like X. It was X something.
X
sure.
transceiver.
X transceiver.
X-Transceiver.
That's what it is.
Yes.
That's what it is. Yeah, that was it was certainly something. I never understood the dream world as a kid. I guess now, like, I think it
I
makes sense.
still
But
don't fully understand the
I don't-
dream
I
world
don't
just
know.
because I've never like tried to go back and like
I would
do
always-
it. I just
yeah.
know that it was a thing that you could do.
Yeah.
To get,
I'd always
like,
go in
certain
there and
abilities.
it'd be empty and like this place is lame and just go out. Like I didn't know what it was for. But yeah, and there are a lot of interesting things that they've done, I guess, throughout the years. I still want Megas back, honestly. I just think making like useless Pokemon cool is like
Yeah, I love
like
Megas.
Beedrill, like that thing would like never get touched with a 10-foot pool, like 10-foot pole in like competitive. But
I think like all the gimmicks they've introduced are cool, but every new gimmick we get, I feel like I'm just reminded that like Megas were a really fun gimmick, and I wish that we could just slap more Megas on things.
yes,
Like I don't,
Every Pokemon gets a Mega.
I liked the idea of Gigantamaxes being basically a pseudo Mega, like fit within the Dynamax umbrella.
yeah,
But
now
I don't know.
new
It's just
games.
because of that. Yeah, because of that, I just felt like why didn't we just make those megas and just like keep the mega train going?
Yeah, like Z moves were annoying as hell because like especially when because you just don't know which one's gonna come out. Like, am I about to get ass blasted by like a Sub-Zero Slammer from Kieran Black, or is this Victini about to Omni Boost on me? It's like what's going to happen? You never know, and you never know which one has it until you knock it off and that item doesn't fly.
I found my new tweet for tomorrow. Look at that picture. That's black. That's Pokemon Black and White X transceiver.
Bro, that's hype.
Dude, the extra
That is
extra
insane.
receiver is so hype. Yeah, we have any closing thoughts? We're kind of like approaching our time limit. So, anything else anyone wants to say? Speak now or forever hold your peace.
Thinking about
This
like
was
what my
fun.
wish list is for the new games, because I will always
I want them
get
to be
excited
good.
for new Pokemon games,
Same.
even if the consensus is they suck and they're disappointing and everything. I feel like there's no world where I'm not gonna be in like this season with trailers and leaks and rumors and all that and not be excited for the next games.
Yeah, I almost feel bad. Like I'll look at leaks because I don't really care for. It's not really. I don't know.
Yeah.
Spoilers or whatever to me, but there's definitely like always the sense of like discovery whenever you like look in the magazines around Christmas time and like circle the new Pokemon game. Like this is what I want, and you'd never know what was actually going to happen. But now it's like, all right, so this Pokemon, here's its lore, here's its base stats. It's all been data mined before the game is even completed. Like,
Back in the day, we used to have like Japanese games used to come out first, so we used to like know everything from the Japanese games, kind of.
Yeah, I mean, I played 7 different patches of Black and White before I played it in English. So
It's crazy.
I played it 7 times. I played it 3 times without being able to understand it, and then we finally got the English patch. The first patch, you couldn't get the experience share to work, so you lost basically anyway. And sometimes it glitched. I remember a certain PokeTuber, not me, of course, distributing Black and White 2 amongst the entirety of the PokeTuber. It wasn't me, but
Not obviously.
somewhat.
and of course, getting Corey in the house was always fun too. That was like the most common
Corey in the
ROM
house
that
for the
people
DS.
would. Yeah, that's the most common ROM that people would have put. But
Yeah.
it's definitely a different time now. I just hope I'm able to battle the way I want to in this game. That's literally all I want.
One more piece of like lost technology before I send us off, I suppose. Anyone ever use the Pokewalker?
Of
Yeah,
course,
yeah,
it's
of course.
Now, did I do anything with it? No.
No,
I used
but
I'd
used
bring it to
yeah.
school. Yeah.
Okay.
What? Am I not allowed to just bring it to school and play around with it?
No, you're not. It's for
I
me.
used to bring
Sorry.
Beyblades to school. That was
Dude,
my.
Oh,
Beyblades
of
were
course,
so
dude.
fire.
I had
I got banned.
I had a Bump King,
Yeah, my
which
school
was
banned him too.
basically
Oh yeah.
which was
Pumpkin.
yeah, it was like a pumpkin Beyblade, and we would do them, and I'd always win with him. Then he broke, and that was the end of Beyblade.
It's
for me.
like there's no reason why any person playing with Beyblade should have been better than anyone else, but there was always like tiers of people at the school where it'd be like, yeah, these people, they're the good Beyblade.
You gotta have like the big collection, like the kid with like the coolest Bakugan. They were the ones that hang around.
Bump King Beyblade.
My school
I just
definitely
saw it.
banned like all that stuff though. Like
Yeah.
slowly but
Yeah,
surely.
yeah, I found them. I found
I
them.
got out just in time.
I
before it
found
got
them.
banned. Found him.
He was the greatest Beyblade the world had ever seen. This dude This dude I was killing other people's
Oh,
babies.
it's this one. Yeah.
Oh,
This
yeah,
guy
my
was
friend
incredible.
had that shit. It was broken as hell.
Only weighed 13 grams, had 3 stars of stamina. That I know I did. This dude was amazing. Oof.
I've unlocked a
I
lot
wish
of
I remember.
memories.
Yeah, I'd have to really deep dive, and I don't think we have time for that. But I don't remember what Beyblade I had. That was my main one, but I think it was a blue
I might buy some
Beyblade.
more and let them rip.
Oh, that's what I'm saying.
The first
Oh, yeah, just throw me
Gochuucast
up,
IRL
but-
meetup, we have to play
Yeah.
Beyblade. But we are running out of time, unfortunately. We are on a little bit of a limiter today. But this has been a fun episode. You know, we always love having the guest on, even though we've only done it once before. But obviously, we'll hope to continue to do it in the future. As we grow, we'll probably get more guests. But luckily, we had the connections for the last one and this one, so we were able to bring an interesting episode in. Of course, if you like what you listened to today, I would implore you to subscribe to us so that we can catch up to Joey one day. He's a little bigger than us. But yeah, we post every Saturday at 3 p.m. without fail, guaranteed. Until I don't one day, but I haven't fucked up yet. So subscribe.
So far, we've been good. Close call, but
Yeah,
we can
close calls, but I have not failed the podcast yet. Joey, if you'd like to shout out your channel to the 3 people here that don't know who you are.
Yeah, my channel is PokemD. YouTube.com/PokemD. Upload every single day. And thank you for having me, guys.
Yeah, he's the
Thank
one
you.
stop that you need to go to for competitive Pokemon. Oh, one last thing before we go. Who is Freezeye? Who is this guy? He's like the big new kid on the block.
Serene Grace. Who remembers when he used Serene Grace?
Me, I played him in tournament for his
Yeah.
first time.
Serene Grace. Is that who that is?
Yeah,
Yes.
he's a nice guy.
Oh,
He's a very
I
nice
didn't.
guy.
I didn't know. Yeah, I didn't know they were the same person.
Yeah, same person.
Yeah, he just
Very
like kind
nice
of
guy who
everyone
loves
just started
Pokemon.
talking about him. Like, oh, all right, new
Red
guy, I
Arrow
guess.
guy.
Yeah, Red Arrow guy. He's evolved the Pokemon thumbnail meta to new heights.
I mean, Blender was using Red Arrow first.
Oh,
Yeah, he's got like the specific Red Arrow though. I
Yeah,
see
he
that
does.
everywhere.
And I was using Green Arrow back in the day. Just know that.
The Green Arrow meta. You were one step
Green
above
Green
everyone
Arrow,
else.
Green Arrow, Green text.
Did
know
you
that.
see any like significant difference in click through rate with the green over the red?
Click through it wasn't something we could see back then.
Yeah,
Oh,
you
that's
couldn't.
Anyway, yeah, that's the end of the episode. I hope you enjoyed. We also, I forgot to mention the audio only platforms. We have our Anchor link below, so you can listen to those on Spotify and other platforms. So I hope you enjoyed this week. Once again,
Watch
Saturday.
on Anchor. Sorry.
But all right, that's the end of the episode. Goodbye.